So, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I am a huge Back to the Future fan. It is without a doubt my favorite film franchise. Well, Star Wars might come close, and the MCU probably beats it on just volume alone, but still, the point is, I really like Back to the Future. So you can imagine how excited I was when we finally got an official Back to the Future DeLorean Transformer in the form of Gigawatt. And this is the comic book crossover miniseries that goes along with him. So grab your hoverboard, strap on your self-lacing Nikes, and make sure your flux capacitor is fluxing, because we're about to take a trip back to good old 1985 with the first issue of Transformers and Back to the Future. We begin with a note from the desk of Dr. Emmett Brown. The space-time continuum is full of infinite possibilities and alternate timelines in its unending nooks and crannies. These include events and histories that could happen, have happened, may never happen, have been erased from existence, or exist entirely as conjecture. How do we classify this tale? For now, suffice to call it entertainment. As a physicist, I can speculate no further. This is basically the author saying, it's not officially canon with either the Back to the Future continuity or any Transformers continuity. Much like the Transformers and My Little Pony crossover we looked at previously. It's basically its own thing and just for fun.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
We open on the scene of the Libyans chasing Marty in the DeLorean after they have shot Doc Brown. But this time they are not alone, as Rumble and Ravage are spying on them. And I guess they're going with Rumble's toy colors in this comic, not his cartoon colors, as he is red and black, not his blue and purple self from the original series. Also, they are hiding behind the Twin Pines Mall sign, which means that this is the first time that Marty has time traveled. Because in the movie, when he goes back to 1955, he drives over one of Old Man Peabody's pines, thus changing the name of the mall in 1985 to Lone Pine Mall instead. Anyways, so the Decepticons learn that Doc Brown has invented time travel, as Rumble then spots Marty reappear, and they do the whole bulletproof vest scene. Although this does pose a problem. As we just saw in that movie clip, Marty returns to the very same spot behind the sign that Rumble and Ravage are currently hiding behind. So he would obviously have seen a couple of robots here, meaning we could have a paradox on our hands.
Wait, a paradox? You mean one of those things that can destroy the universe?
But then again, this is an alternate universe, unique from the movies that we know. So either Marty could have come from a different direction, or maybe Rumble and Ravage could be hiding behind a different Twin Pines Mall sign, or as it should be now, Lone Pines. I'm sure a mall could have multiple signs. So the Decepticons go after the time machine, but Bumblebee intercepts them. However, their fighting draws the attention of Doc and Marty. When they come over, Bumblebee seems to have dispatched Rumble and Ravage, with Rumble having apparently run away, and Ravage reverting to his cassette mode, which Doc Brown picks up. But Bumblebee nearly runs him over as he drops Ravage and Bumblebee crushes him. Aww, poor kitty. Doc and Marty make a comment about cars driving themselves in the future, which is obviously a little nod to the self-driving cars that we have today. Which, seeing how other people drive where I live, I hope they become very common very soon. Doc leaves Marty and takes his trip 30 years into the future. 2015. Yes, how very futuristic. Well, at least it wasn't 2005. Bumblebee returns to base, and Marty goes to bed. But he is rudely awoken in the morning by his father. We see the rest of the family in these red jumpsuits, and soon discover that Hill Valley has been taken over and enslaved by the Decepticons. And of course, Biff is now some kind of Decepticon Gestapo agent. And I absolutely love that Starscream does the whole, hello, hello, anybody home? Think, human, think, thing to Biff. Oh, I love it. When Marty suggests making a break for it, his father mentions Needles, who, if you'll remember, was the guy who got Marty into an accident and later got him fired in the future. Marty then picks up a trash can lid and throws it like a frisbee right at Starscream's head, just like he did in part 3 with the pie plate and Biff's ancestor, Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. I hate that name.
Hey, Frisbee, far out.
Marty then inexplicably finds a skateboard and uses it to avoid Starscream's blasts. No doubt a nod to Marty's run-in with Biff and his car. But just when it seems like Starscream has him, the DeLorean comes out of nowhere and knocks Starscream into a building, with a sign on top that says Jones Fertilizer. Which, once again, is obviously a nod to that same chase scene, where Biff crashes into a truck full of manure. Although in the original movie it does say manure, but in both this comic and the Rescue Bots episode that I reviewed recently, they both use the word fertilizer instead. I wonder why. And so, we end this first issue with Marty assuming that it was Doc who saved him, but it turns out to be my boy Gigawatt! Yes! And of course, he needs Marty to come with him in order to save the future. Oh man, this was so awesome. The only thing better would be if this was an actual cartoon or something with the actors reprising their roles and all that great copyrighted music that I wish I could play during this video, but I can't. Thanks, YouTube. What else can I say? I love Transformers. I love Back to the Future. For a first issue, this comic absolutely nailed it. I mean, you had everything in here that a Transformers and Back to the Future fan could ask for. My only possible complaint is that I would have preferred to see Rumble in his cartoon colors instead of his toy colors. I know, in the comics he was the toy colors too, but I'm more of a fan of the cartoon colors. So don't at me in the comments about how Rumble is red and Frenzy is blue. Actually, that's probably good for the algorithm. So yeah, do tell me in the comments if you're a Rumble is blue, Frenzy is red fan, or a Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue fan. And while you're at it, let me know what you thought of this first issue of Transformers Back to the Future. Remember to like, share, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next week for issue 2 of this crossover of my dreams. I cannot wait!